Hello. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. Some of the council members of Girls Run These Worlds here at Hoard of Tales. Um, we are so glad to be participating in the Shine a Light Marathon stream for the It Gets Better project. We are so excited for everybody to join us here so that you can go ahead and my little donate thing. Oh no, I don't see my thing. I'll make it appear in a minute. And by I mean Ryu, because Ryu's better at this than me. Um, let's go ahead. We're going to introduce ourselves. We're going to tell you a little bit about the game we're playing, and then we are going to get started. I am Arnica. I am the Director of Operations over at Girls Run These Worlds. And I have been the main point of contact for this. I've been so excited to work with so many members of Hoard of Tales to arrange this quick little game, just a chance to help, raise money for a super important thing for LGBTQ youth, which is the It Gets Better project. While we all can access the information at different points in our lives, the fact is that kids really need it, especially right now as LGBTQ teens are just under attack from political parties all across the world. They need to know that there are adults standing behind them and that they can come out the other side and that, yeah, it, we are taking an ad break. It caught me by surprise. I was startled.
All good, all good.
Do
I
I
believe
need
we
to
are
stay
still live.
quiet? I
I'm
don't know
still
what we do.
seeing us.
Okay.
So yeah,
Oh, there we are.
it's only for yeah.
I don't know how commercials work on Twitch. It scared me. All of a sudden there was such a large chicken nugget. I was like, there's so many chicken nuggets and so little me.
So many chicken nuggets.
For those of you tuning in, if you want
I'm
to
a
start
professional.
you want to start the bingo card early, your free spot is Angela breaks down laughing at some point. If you want to put Angela breaks down laughing 5 times, that's another square on the damn bingo card.
The number of times I scream, I'm a professional, that is 05. 05 is I am a professional. All right, so the It Gets
Ryu.
Better project.
Ryu.
The kids need to know. The kids need to know that there are adults on the other side and that they will make it. And one day they will be the aunties and the uncles going, baby, it gets better. You just got to get through it. And your donation, oh, I just scared the shit out of my dog. And your donations to this project will help them get there. So thank you so much in advance. I'm gonna let you know right now. You just let us know what you've done because we are playing a weird little mashup game today. We are playing Beyond the Feylands, a cute little, 3-page game about getting lost in some fairy bullshit. We are playing it in the backwoods cartography setting. If you donated any money to like any of the COVID TTRPGs, you have this buried in your big old itch package. Look through it. Wild settings. You're going to love this. We're doing some fairy bullshit. So let's go ahead and introduce everybody. Let's talk to Angela first.
Hello there, lovelies. For those of you who are unfamiliar with me, who I'm basically like a subletter over here on Hoard of Tales for how often I'm over here for games and stuff, and especially in the coming months. My name is Angela Lemos Moguerrejo. I use she, her pronouns, and I am the creative director for Girls Write These Worlds. I'm basically here because Arnica is fantastic, a wonderful writer. If you haven't ever experienced her writing in our previous zines and such, go do that. But that's for another occasion, I'm sure. This occasion, we're here and send that money to donate here because basically just let Arnica do more absurd fairy bullshit. You will be happy with this outcome. We may feel questionable about this outcome. You will feel happy about this, and our possible displeasure is your entertainment. So we hope that the next 2 hours will prove entertaining for you, and that's me. I also remembered Arnica gave us a question at the beginning, which was if we have ever gone camping and why. Uh, I have. Yes, I am also the head of safety. I wasn't sure whether we wanted to be super public about that one too, but I am also the head
Yeah.
of safety over at Girls Run These Worlds. I have been camping before when I was a kid, and while those were relatively mundane because we were camping in places that like had a water park in it on another part of the area, I did actually go camping on the front lawn of one of my administrative buildings in college as part of a long-going protest against how they were treating the dining hall workers. So, shout out to Pomona College. You all suck. You took too fucking forever to treat your union workers well. That's me.
Shout out to Pomona. Yo. Get them kids off your campus, off tents. Do it faster next time. All right, let's talk to Jen.
Oh, hello, friends. Hi, I'm Jen. My pronouns are she, they. I am the Chief Administrative Officer here on Girls from These Worlds, also known as everyone's favorite cow. And I almost killed Angela.
I want to move so bad. I'm not gonna though. I'm in public. I'm on other people's channel. Let me act right.
Bitch, I'm a
Move.
cow. Ooh.
Love doing things for us. I don't have a whole lot about myself to plug. I'm just Burb. Have I ever been camping and why? I went to this amazing summer camp when I was young. It was called CTY. And a friend of mine from that camp, actually I went to college with as well. She lived in a very rural area, with a massive backyard with like a little pond on it. And every year for, well, 3 years, we would go to her house as like a camp reunion.
Mhm.
And we would camp out in her backyard by the pond, giant bonfire, and shitpost our little hearts out. And that's me.
Nice, nice.
Hi,
very
Bren.
nice.
If you ever watch this, I love you.
All right, and Ryu.
Oh, hey, it's me. I am Ryu. Pronouns she, they, and mostly thembo. I stream sometimes on the internet. Um, and I am the head of productions over at Girls from These Worlds. I do the tech stuff behind the scenes, and help people get their stuff out on the actual interwebs. So that's what I do. Uh, I forgot the question. Do we camp? I
Have you-
camped. I have. It's mostly glamping, and it's all for. We used to have a thing. People ruined it, but Florida ruined it. But we used to do it out in Florida, where we just stayed out on the beach for like a week and a half or a week or whatever, and it was the greatest, wonderful thing because it was during Gay Pride, so it was all left to right bodies of all the wonderful gay people from as far as the eyes can see. It was wonderful, except sand in your butt crack. Other than that, everything was great.
Okay, Anakin.
No. I'm okay with sand in the butt crack. I'm just saying it was harder to walk
is
to
a
the
fact.
showers with the sand in your butt crack.
This is a charity game.
Oh,
I mean,
I said butt.
hit butt. Like, what do you want? Everybody give us $1 because Ryu had sand in their butt crack, and like just instead of dropping an effing chat for sand, let's drop $1 in the
Drop
charity
$1 in the
sand
kids'
crack.
jar.
Okay.
Everything's going great, guys.
But
This is
listen,
wonderful.
we've engaged in full actual play tomfoolery. Pay us money, by which I mean pay this charity money and get support for folks who need it.
Pay this charity money and then go get your rich family member that you don't see except once a year and then tell them to also pay us too.
Yeah.
That would be super funny.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's go ahead and do this. What if instead of dicking around, we go ahead and we do the thing we're actually here to do?
Ooh, yes.
Is that not what we're okay?
I just figured, let's be bold and brave and interesting. Oh, thank goodness I did have that muted. This was about to be wild. Okay, so here we go. It's really funny, in fact, that everybody has mentioned that they've gone camping. because I have never gone camping in my life. Most of the council knows this, but the rest of y'all watching this do not, which is that I've never been allowed to go camping or snowboarding or, you know, help. I lived in Maine for 30 years. I know what it's a jet ski on snow. What the fuck are they called? Snowmobiling. There we go. I got it. I made it there. I was never allowed to do any of that very normal teenage stuff when I was a teenager because my father grew up in the southeastern part of America and he was born far before Jim Crow ended. So he had a very serious rule that I was not allowed to let those white people take me in the woods because I live in Maine, which is all white people. And he trusted my friends to take me lots of places except in the woods. He had very genuine epigenetic trauma. It was not happening. So I have never in my life gone camping or snowmobiling or skiing because all three of those things qualify as white people taking me in the woods. I say this so that you all understand how my three friends and I ended up on this camping trip because I kept telling them, no, this isn't my fault. I would like everyone to know that this is not my fault. Technically, it's my fault, but this is not at all my fault. I told them that I had never gone camping. Like, I was just making a statement of fact. I was not telling them that we should go camping here in Maine, like the home of the spookiest shit ever. But they're like, no, let's go visit Arnica. It's not like she's begging. I totally begged. And it's not like she really asked us to do this. We're just going to volunteer her. I begged. I begged. I said we would go to the LL Bean store at 3 in the morning when it's open. I begged. Everyone came to see me in Maine. We went camping. This is everybody's fault but mine. I didn't do this. Now that I've set this and everyone understands how everything that's about to go totally wrong is not my fault, let's continue. We went to LL Bean, guys. It was baller. They have a 2-story tall bean boot, which is like a Tim, but for white folks. It is the second best shoe in the world.
Okay, what's the first best shoe in the world, though?
A real Tim.
I don't know what a Tim is. I'm sorry.
Timberlands. Do you know what those shoe
Timberlands.
types are?
Oh,
The #1 hiking boot.
if you think that I don't hike.
You can wear Tims anywhere. You can get Tims with steel toes so that you can wear them to the work site. You can get the non-steel toed version to wear to other work sites. You can wear them in the snow. They hold up in the rain. They black as fuck. They come in a whole bunch of colors. I love Timberlands. And the white person's version of the Timberland is the bean boot, which
Hashtag not
has
sponsored.
Hashtag not sponsored, although I won't lie. They have paid me a lot of money. I have worked there in the winter. I am so used to immediately going into a sales pitch when I say the words LL Bean that in fact, LL Bean, if you see this, feel free to make a donation to the It Gets Better project in Hoard of Tales name. I'll see you next winter. I'm too busy to come back to work this winter. Anyway, we went to Beans. We did the shopping. We went to the outlet store and spent the more money there. We mostly just wandered around the big store and then I took them to the Beans outlet store. That's where you spend the real money. And then we found ourselves up around Moosehead Lake. Now, it's great. People camp there all the time. It's very easy to get to, but it's super remote. It's not glamping. There are no water slides. You're definitely not gonna get beach sand in your butt crack. It's you and hundreds of miles of pines and okay, like there's the moose and there's the bear and shit, but really you have to go out of your way. You're unlikely for them to just wander up on you. We're gonna be fine. We're gonna have fun. Except that like I don't want y'all to be nervous, but I've lived in Maine for decades and I know what Maine looks like. And we've only been walking for about 2 hours before it starts becoming real clear, at least to me. I don't know how woodly y'all are, but it starts looking so much not like Maine. And I'm not quite sure how to explain to y'all that that the trees have shifted, that what looked like pines are actually more like, oh, what's the non-scientific word for gymnosperm? I don't know. Hemlocks. You know, I don't know what to tell you. I am autistic. Leave me alone. The pine trees have turned to hemlocks. The hemlocks have turned to other things. There are cold weather trees and hot weather trees just both looming over us from every direction. So now that everyone understands that this wasn't my fault, how y'all doing? Have you noticed? You haven't noticed, right? This is fine.
I have definitely not noticed. I am happily pointing out chipmunks and squirrels and birds, and I have not noticed a single thing, even when the birds are definitely not birds.
Casual note from the chat: we have stepped into a Stephen King short story. This is great. This
Yes.
is exactly what I want to hear in Faye stuff. That I might be part of the mist. Thank you, whoever Hogan698 is. Thank you for actually causing me fear. I don't want to be reminded of the mist right now.
Oh, the mist was
That was a
a
very
story.
My second worst, not my worst aunt. You know who you are, my worst aunt. But my second worst aunt, her ex-husband lived on that part of Sebago Lake. I grew up running around the lake from the mist. That entire strip where they get trapped, that's where we got our lunches and stuff. I know every single store on that strip. Come visit me. I'll take you there.
No, I'm good.
I'll come visit you, but actually, no, I'm part white. I'll definitely want to go there.
All right.
I in regards to the whole loss situation, I think there's probably a moment after about an hour or two where I'd be like, Arnica, are you sure you know where we're going?
Okay. See, I feel like know where we're going is a bold statement. Like we're supposed to be just
If you see
we're in a
something
mostly
about
straight line. We're
friends
just
we made
looking for
along the
like a
way,
clearing. Okay, no, I'm not saying anything about friends we made along the way. I'm just saying like I know yes, I know where we're going. We're going to a clearing,
which
and
clearing?
the first one we get to that doesn't
So
look
you
like it's
don't know where we're
ours.
going.
Oh my gosh. Okay, look. Okay. Okay. I thought camping was about the adventure. I thought you were going on an adventure in the woods. We're going on an adventure in the woods. This is great.
An adventure in the woods doesn't mean after 2 hours we don't know how to get back to where we were.
I mean, we do. We just turn around and go back the way we came. And, I turn around and I big arms because here's the thing. We have followed a fairly straight deer path. If you're familiar with a deer path, you know what it looks like. It looks like you're walking through the wild, but really the trees have been cleared away. There's ferns about this side. There's ferns about this wide. You can walk clearly through it. The deer path is no longer behind us. In
Arnica.
fact, let me hold on. Let's see where we are. Let me roll 4d12.
Oh God.
I got 10, 10, 6, and 4. So that's a 30. Let's go ahead and see where we are.
Ryu?
Thanks, we hate it.
Would-
No, I'm just looking like a cooler and a half of like stuff, thinking that this is going to be when you said hike, I didn't think you were going to mean a hike. I thought you meant our kind of hike where like we're just going just in enough and then we're going to settle in and have a good time, right? Like you brought the booze, I bought the food. That was the deal. It's been
Just
too
far enough
long.
that we can't see the road anymore.
It's been too long.
Okay, like you're not even supposed to see the road when you go camping. If you can see the road, you're not going camping. You just pulled off to pee and then settled down for some reason. I'm just saying if you can see the road in Maine, you're not camping. We're doing this right. Look,
Haven't you not been camping before?
Yeah, we've all been kind of
Yeah,
camping.
we've all been camping. Why are we accepting your opinion on this as to what is the correct way to do camping when you haven't been camping?
At this point, it's the worst time to ask the question because why?
Arnica.
Now look, see, clearing. I found it. I found it.
Arnica, where's the deer path?
I mean, it's obviously right there. We're looking at it wrong, but look in front of us. Look, I
You
told you.
can't
I knew
look
where
at
we
a
were
deer
going.
path. It
We
should just
found
be
it.
right there wrong.
You don't even look, y'all go glamping. You don't even know what a deer path looks like. Will you please turn around and look right there at this clearing?
an
I
environmental
found it.
educator
There's a
partner.
That's a
shack.
clearing,
There's
not a deer
shack
path.
right there. There's a shack. There's a shack. We are in the right spot. There's a shack. We can ask people. They can show us
no.
where our map is
Oh
wrong.
no. I'm part white, but I'm not that white.
Wait. Wait. When you say shack,
Like a cabin in the woods? Because no.
like a full
No.
cabin? Or
Okay. When
Or like
I
an
say
outhouse,
shack,
like Shrek style?
what I mean is there's the shack. It's a little bit propped up. It's an old semi-abandoned camp. It's exhausted and recuperating in the middle of a fairy ring of toadstools because it may or may not have two legs up under it. I couldn't see though. I don't see well. My glasses, I'm really close to legally blind. I would literally have to get very close to this shack to see the legs. So in my defense, y'all can see that it's got legs up under it. To me,
Why
it
are we
just
letting
looks.
them lead us? Why is
Why
this
are you letting me lead you? This was I
you
told
wanted
you
to
this
come
was
on this
not my
trip.
fault. I did want to, but that doesn't mean I knew what I was doing.
Oh
Y'all
my
are the
God.
ones who have gone camping before. This is
we're
not my
asking
fault.
the wrong questions. Why I got
What is-
feet?
I'm just saying that there is a shack that to me looks like it's just on an ugly hill, and y'all can see that it's curled up on its giant chicken legs in the middle of a center of toadstools. All of these toadstools are big enough to sit down on. You could technically sit down and order a drink. If you are thirsty, you might want to look elsewhere though, because this tavern only serves colors.
I'm sorry. Did you say chicken legs?
I don't know. I can't see them. We're very far away. In fact, I've started to wander closer to the shack because I'm trying to figure out what kind of weird ass rocks it's on, and it looks raggedy as shit. But
Is there an egg
someone
under
in
it?
there is gonna. I also have a white mom. I'm going to go ask somebody where my directions are. The white part in me has taken over and feels really comfortable asking strangers in Maine for directions because, to be fair, I've lived in Maine for a really long time and it's perfectly safe to just wander up to people in the woods and ask for directions. Most of the time, they're just hunters. They've been in this cabin. It's been passed down from their family 40 years, and they'll give you directions like, so you're just going to want to go about 20 minutes down the forest that way. You're going to hang a left up at the waterfall. Now, do not go too far because if you go too far, you're going to be out by the lake. You're going to want to take another left when you get to the big rock. I've been here long enough. I do. Sometimes dead's better. I do a great pet cemetery. Anyway.
I'm
I
dead.
was wondering where that was from.
So, leaving you all distracted and blurred. In fact, I have wandered off doing my best pet cemetery, leaving you all staring at me in alarm because I am walking towards a shack that very much has chicken legs. What do you want to do?
The first thing I do is pull out my phone and realize there are no cellular bars and immediately go, uh-uh. uh-uh. If I can't
All right.
GPS out, it's bad.
Okay, hang on. And I'm going to pull out my little flashlight. And I'm going to, as the other part white person here, approach the chicken legs and shine a light on them so I can figure out what the heck is going on.
All right. So that is what catches my attention. Jen has walked past me looking so determined, way too determined to be asking questions with a flashlight. And it is the way the flashlight hits that causes that iridescence along those rooster-like feathers. And I go, And now I do a hard stop. I reach out and grab Jen by the back of the shirt, like Jen is doing something wrong. And I'm like,
Oh,
got
Okay,
legs.
so
It's
you
got
can go.
legs.
Yes, you said it had.
I said that.
No, I did.
Then why are you walking toward it?
I said
Me
that.
and
I
Ryu are
can't
on the
see
same
my
wavelength.
glasses.
Like, what the fuck
My
are these
glasses
two
are
doing?
old. I thought those were I thought those were rocks.
Can we turn around and go then? Can we go back home now?
Can you run faster than a house with giant legs? Did we wake it up? Is it looking at us?
Let's
I don't. Should we
find
hold still?
out.
I can't run
Ryu, are
faster
they
than
gonna
any-
die? Is
These
this
are Jurassic
should I
Park
assume
rules.
So okay, so Arnica and I are just frozen in place. If we
Ryu and
don't
I are
move,
back
they can't
here? We're
see
like, what the
us.
fuck is going on?
There's
Wait a minute. This house doesn't have eyes. It's just a house.
What?
got a
Windows are the
uvula.
eyes to the soul.
Hey. Hey.
Yes.
Hey, buddies. Hey,
Yeah?
why don't you? Are you gonna go poke it? Or are you gonna come back?
I
Well,
don't
Ryu was
know.
gonna not Ryu. Well, Arnica was gonna talk to it, but then I tried to shine a light on it, and Arnica was like, "No, you can't."
I thought there was a person inside. There's probably just guts inside. It's going to either there's guts or a witch inside. I don't know what to do. Save me.
Stay.
You started
Save
this.
me.
Okay,
Okay.
back
I hate
away.
camping. I want to go home.
Back away slowly. Do not make window contact.
Why?
Okay, so here's the thing. We are using the easiest system that you could ever roll on in your life because the system we're playing with Backwoods on is Beyond the Feylands. There's only two things that you can roll. You roll for your humanity or against your Fey. Now, everyone's humanity right now is 6. We are humans freshly wandered into a fairy wood. So, Jen, one of two things is gonna happen. Either I'm gonna listen to you and back up peacefully, or I will panic and one of us will end up picking up the other one and running away. Why don't you roll against your humanity? It's very easy. All you have to do is roll 1d6 and roll anything but a 6.
Well, don't say that out loud. The die might hear me.
Uh-huh.
Let's find out.
Jen, what'd you roll?
Arnica.
Jen,
No.
Arnica.
did you roll a 6?
No. Or
I rolled a. Well, you can't see it on the camera, but I rolled a 6.
All right, do me a favor, Jen. Just roll one more dice for me. Just roll that dice again. It's very
bad.
easy. Roll anything but a 1.
It's bad. Arnica, you're doing this on purpose.
Arnica, I swear to God.
Their dice are brat like them. Why would you keep telling them not to do the thing?
If you would
Arnica?
like me to, did you roll a 1, Jen?
I rolled a 1.
This is fantastic. If you would like me to stop booby trapping my players, I will be nice for a $2 donation. Just go ahead, hit that link. $2 donation, and I will stop booby trapping Jen's dice. Jen, I have frozen. I am just so traumatized by this. You find yourself. You find that before you can think and realize how very unreasonable this is, that you have picked me up. You have thrown me over your shoulder in a fireman's carry and booked it back to Ryu. Now, for those of us who have never seen Jen and I am 5'11". I am well over 250 pounds. I am built like a brick shithouse, baby.
I'm 5'4".
Jen, your human goes down by 1 and your Fae goes up by 1.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Yep.
So Angela, Ryu, Jen has just picked me up and run from a chicken-legged house. What would you like to do?
Is the house moving?
No, the house is just sleeping. House ain't doing shit. I'm being dramatic for no reason. It's just a house on legs, but also I'm terrified. It's a house on legs. I'm too black for this. I knew I should never. My father was right. I should have just stayed at home. This never happens when you're sitting on your couch watching TV.
You couldn't have listened to your dad like yesterday.
Weather Channel.
Well, first off, I'll probably just be looking at Jin like, I don't remember you saying you started lifting, but here we are. Okay.
Well, adrenaline.
Yeah, that'll do it. Okay, so we survived that. So is this the only clear? This is the only clearing, right? That we've come across.
It is
Nothing
the
else in
first-
this clearing.
It's the first clearing that we've come across. There's nothing else in there. There's some toadstools that you can sit at surrounding the house, and just a house laying down sleeping,
Just as a house does.
as a house is wont to do.
Just
You know,
over here,
totally
right next to
normal house
Ryu, just being like, Ryu, I don't know if you know about enough about bullshit toadstool stuff. Don't go near that. Just no.
I mean, I'm sure it'll be fine because we had the Fade King pop out in turtle form in our backyard before from one of those circles. So I kind of feel like it's fine.
Look, my partner isn't here. I'm without my white talisman of protection. I do not like this right now. I do not want to deal with whatever free bullshit is about to happen. Also,
yeah,
my
no, I'm
partner
not touching
is
it.
okay with these. Yeah, no. Jen, why? Just like walking over to Jen. Jen, why? Why?
What do I do?
Why picking the pickup? Why?
Because Arnica was frozen. I had to get her out of there. Like, not frozen as in a block of ice, but like
I am clinging to Jen. This is fine with me. I've never been picked up and run with in my life, and I'm loving this.
Having a great time.
I am eyes on the house. I got you 6, Jen. I will let you know if this house moves. This house is doing nothing. We are being so dramatic. This house has done nothing.
There's.
okay.
I just want to be clear. Let's clear this up before anything else goes forward.
Mhm.
This might be Baba Yaga's house. She's not gonna do anything to us until you. It's the same logic of a video game. If you don't aggro an enemy, it's not gonna come directly at you necessarily.
But what if we did aggro it? But what if we did aggro the enemy?
Right, as Angela is saying that, I've picked up a rock and I'm tossing it at the thing.
Okay.
Just to prove it's not going to do anything, and I just toss
No.
it as Angela's saying.
All right. Yeah, so here's what we're going to do. Let's go ahead and have you. You're going to need. Go ahead. Roll your d6. Just got to roll underneath the 6.
Pull out everything
Stop
but
saying
my
that out
D6.
loud.
Anything but a 6 is what you said to me?
Anything but a 6.
Okay. I want you to know that it didn't go through the tower. It bounced off of the tower into the bucket part and landed on a 6.
Cool.
You rolled a 6.
I technically it bounced a 6.
It's because Arnica keeps saying don't roll a 6. I guess Ryu's a secret brat.
Secret.
Hey, y'all.
So again, super easy, Ryu. Just don't roll a 1.
Great. Cool. I'm gonna use another die. 4.
Okay.
Nice. So here's what happens for you. Your rock leaves your hand. It manages to squeeze through. Now, normally they would bounce off these toadstools. This manages to squeeze through the toadstools, but it does not hit the chicken on its chicken parts. It bounces off the chimney, and the house just sleeps through it. Things bounce off its roof all the time. Little pieces of acorn shit squirrels drop. The house sleeps through stuff coming off its roof. So the good news is, didn't wake the house up, Ryu.
Uh-huh.
But the door does slam open, And
Don't like that.
just all you hear is a voice going, "Fucking kids, stop throwing things in my house!" And the door slams again.
Did we catch a glimpse of what was inside?
No.
No.
Sorry. They didn't mean it, right, Ryu?
Oh, I in fact did mean it, but I didn't mean it.
Don't-
You didn't mean it.
Okay.
Did
I would
anybody
like
catch
to-
a glimpse? Nobody.
No, I
Nobody-
don't want to
nope.
look. Okay. You know what? You know what? If I say we're lost,
You know what?
if I
This
say
is
we're
theirs.
lost, can we go home now?
This is their
Yes.
clearing.
Oh my god.
Yes!
Cool.
This is their clearing.
Okay.
Maybe we should
We
go.
are.
We
We are lost.
No,
How do I get
Arnica.
home now?
No,
How do we-
Arnica, where's the deer
How do we-
path?
I'm just gonna yell. How do we leave your clearing? I just kind of yell it.
All right. The house is gonna go ahead and like the door doesn't open again, the windows don't crack, but like one of the shutters on the side kind of flutters a little bit, like an eyelid half opening, and a chicken leg with too many joints unloops itself to point that way. Over
Thank
its roof.
you.
All right, so Ryu, since you asked how do we leave, why don't you go ahead and roll 4d12 as we very slowly go all the way around the edge of this clearing as far from that chicken house as we can. By the way, Jane, you are still carrying me. I have not gotten down. You have not
That's fine.
put me down. Like, for some reason, this seems perfectly fine to you.
This seems perfectly. How is that?
You get 4 ones? What is happening over there?
No,
I don't like
the
the sound.
tiny. This is the thickest die, and it's got the tiniest number. 16.
All right. 16. So
Awesome.
here's the thing. Memory refracts like light through a prism in the backwoods, and dwelling on a certainty can often cause it to shatter into multiple shards of possibilities. Most experienced travelers in the backwoods, those who are used to moving through fairy places, know this. So make sure you never really are thinking too hard about where you know for certain you are, because that's how you get lost. We were, just so that everyone knows, and it says right here, look at number 16, you were certainly not lost a moment ago, but then one of you noticed that you were certainly not lost, and now you're lost. So I would just like everyone to know that in the little piece of forest we run to, it's not quite a clearing, it's a grove. It almost looks like the one that we parked the car at. Almost. Except it was way too close. We walked for hours and this was literally a 5-minute walk. And there's no road. And there are still absolutely like all the wrong trees. The trees have become a little bit wronger. In fact, the further we've gone in, they twist in ways that are a little too sinuous, as if they moved and then stopped. Maybe they're just waiting for us to leave before they move again. Hopefully they'll wait for us to leave before they move again. But either way, we are lost. We are absolutely 100% lost. But just everybody should know that we weren't necessarily really lost until we noticed we were lost. It's the woods' fault more than mine. I take it back. I take it back. It's not my fault. So
So, Arnica,
Yeah.
who created the group chat saying we should go camping?
Okay. Me.
Mhm.
But I was
Nope,
I
no
was kind of
buts.
hoping that there would be experienced people. I
The
didn't think I
only
would be in charge
butts-
of
The only butts here right now are our butts
That we're aware of.
and the sand in them.
I got.
Okay.
Why do you have sand in your butt? We are in the woods. Where
It's
did the
Ryu's
sand
butt.
come from? Why did you put sand in
I
Ryu's butt?
I
We are in the woods. Where did the sand come from?
I have a
Fucking
few
sand.
questions. You know?
Only a few.
I am
Only a few.
still draped over Jen's shoulder, everyone. Jen has yet to say she's put me down. So just like the time I let my sister carry a horse for 40 minutes using Mage Hand because she never said she put the horse down. Until Jen says the word, she puts me down. Jen is still carrying me.
Arnica, do you want to get down?
Upbeats for the boys. What?
Oh,
Do you want to continue being Scooby Doo to Jen's Shaggy in this situation?
I mean, that does sound really funny when you put it that way. Like, how could I not?
Damn
No,
it.
let me down. This is ridiculous.
Okay.
So I'll go ahead and
put
I will
Arnica
get down.
down.
So this is technically, there's nothing weird in here. We still have a couple hours of daylight. We could explore around some more and see if we can
No.
find our way back to the road,
Oh, okay.
or we could camp here. We
Huh?
could set up camp right now while there's still light, and we know for a fact that we're in a safe space, and move on in the morning. No, we don't, but this place doesn't have a giant chicken house. So,
And this
and I don't see
looks
bear, and I don't see a moose. So that's about as close as I can say to we are 100% safe in Maine. I think we're still in Maine as we can be.
Okay.
what?
You know what? Fuck it. We're not gonna get out tonight. We walked for a couple of hours. We're all the way out here. Unless Arnica really doesn't know her directions, the best plan is to camp and then try again when it's light.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
So so that's okay. So how do we tie break this? So there's 2 votes for yes, camping.
Mhm.
Angela?
I'm not making the deciding vote. You're doing the deciding vote. What do you want to do? I'm not getting accountability for this until the end. I don't want it written down in any sort of like future account of this. Angela decided, made the vote that doomed us all. I'm not putting that on my conscience.
You know what? Sure. So I can. We gotta cook some of this. Maybe if we. Maybe we cook some of these rations. We can go ahead and get rid of something. A heavy cooler for one, and then maybe we can toss it aside to keep whatever's out there out there. Yeah. An
sure.
idea.
Okay. Cool. That works.
All right.
So we go ahead. We start setting up our tents. It's absolutely great. In fact, everybody go ahead, and I'm not going to curse the dice. Everybody, including me, will go ahead and roll a d6.
We're not cursing the dice.
I'm not cursing the dice. Nope.
I just have to
roll a
roll below a
D6.
5, right?
Just roll a d6. I'm not cursing the dice.
Okay.
I rolled a
cool.
5. I'm fine. Fuck all of you. I'm fine.
I rolled a 1.
I got a 3.
Nice. All of you set up your tent successfully without a problem. I rolled a 6.
Things are going great.
Yeah.
But thankfully, I also rolled a 2. So the good news is that I definitely failed to set up my tent a lot. I do a very, very, very bad job. In fact, by the time y'all look over, you see that I have given up and I have just put 2 stakes in the ground this way. And then instead of putting my tent over the frame because I've accidentally broken the frame. I've just stretched it up and tied it to a tree, and now I've just kind of got a lean-to and a tarp to the side. It's not a tent, but if it rains, it will technically keep the rain off. And I'm just looking at y'all like I dare you to say something. I know what this Charlie Brown bullshit looks like, but y'all was setting up your own tents and you left me by myself.
Arnica, take my tent. I'm taking yours.
You absolutely cannot sleep in this. Are you kidding? Look at this thing. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
I
It's
have a
fine.
sleeping bag, and I
also
don't
have a
care.
sleeping
I've
bag.
run out of fucks to give for today. Take my fucking tent. Jesus.
Nowhere to be found.
Okay.
Behold the field of fucks that you have led us away from. It has now become barren because of how long we've been away from it.
But fine. I shamefully slink into Angela's tent and throw my stuff down and then come out. The good news is that we're going to strike from Ryu a portion of uncooked rations. We are, in fact, if it was for one person, it was enough for 4. It was enough for a week, but it's for 4 people. So we are going to actually technically empty out one of those coolers. So I make dinner because I am an excellent cook, even on a fire. So that's the good news. The good news is that it is fucking delicious. We have a great time. We start to calm down. There's no weird bears.
Who's we?
There's no monsters. Compared to the time we were having an hour ago when there was a chicken hut, we're having a great time. You have to think comparatively.
Yeah,
I know
it's all
what
relative.
I know what you're referring to when you say chicken hut, but I'm just imagining like it's just a fucking
I
like
do want to
random
visit a
fast
chicken
food.
hut now.
Like a
Yeah,
gas station.
it's like a main version of Pizza Hut, but their main focus is chicken instead of pizza or
Oh my
something.
gosh,
Oh
I
my God.
wish.
I would eat
I
the hell out of
wish.
some chicken hut.
I wish.
Y'all are so
I
weird.
should buy an empty Pizza Hut and call it Chicken Hut.
And that better be their
Anyway,
mascot too.
it will
Chicky
too. That
nuggies.
will be my mascot. It'll be a Baba Yaga house.
Absolutely incredible.
Anyway, the point remains. We eat. It's delicious. There are no weird sounds. There's nothing too creepy happening. And eventually we all just kind of slink into our tents or the terrible lean-to remains of an attempted tent. And eventually just quiet sounds of nature and nothing particularly large. We fall asleep. Everybody go ahead as you wake up. The very first thing you do, why don't you roll me a d6?
2.
5.
All right.
4.
2. Jen, you can no longer sleep in tents. You wake up and just you are surrounded by canvas. It is just shrinking in on you. You hate the look of it. You hate the smell of it. Everything about being inside this tent has triggered every single anxiety you have all at once.
So
You
I
scramble.
get on up out of the tent and I go to sleep in a tree.
You immediately feel better the second you are outside the tent. You immediately feel better. You climb up a tree and you just like it's nothing. Like you're a jungle cat, just stretch out on your tummy. One leg is dangling, the opposite arm is dangling to counterweight you, and you're right back asleep. Angela, what'd you say you rolled? A 5? You know, you wake up fine. Nothing about the lean-to feels weird other than the fact that it used to be a tent and you for the life of you cannot figure out how I have made this thing into what it is. There's no just the math doesn't math. You fell asleep trying to figure out how I did that without ripping seams. You woke up and you still don't know.
Listen, I'm not judging though because I used a cheese grater incorrectly on one occasion, so that's all I'm gonna say. I'm aware I used it upside down.
That's funny.
Huh?
This is yes. You know
I
what?
appreciate that.
You know what? Yes, I'm incompetent, people. Thank
I mean,
you. I'm aware that I'm incompetent. I'm commiserating. Fuck both
I
of you.
love you.
So
So,
happy right now.
Oh,
nothing particularly weird happens. You wake up feeling totally normal. You step outside. You just so happen to notice that there are some berry canes like right on the edge of our campsite that it was a little too dark to notice before. You don't recognize them, but you just know that they are absolutely safe to eat and probably pretty good. As you wander by, you see some mushrooms, and it's just, you don't even recognize that you're going, yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, grabbing little bits of this and little bits of that. You just instinctively know what in this forest can be eaten. Ryu, what'd you roll?
a 4.
A 4. Again, no problems. You wake up perfectly fine. Get up out your tent absolutely normally. You see Jen sleeping in a freaking tree like a thing that sleeps in a tree. Why are you in a tree, Jen? You go ahead and you don't even think about it. You just shimmy up the tree. Go poke Jen. You can climb that tree so easily. You don't even think about you're just up it. In fact, you can climb any tree with absolute ease.
I'm just like, ugh.
Didn't look the same. We're just in a tree.
Jen looks the same, just in a tree.
Okay.
Hi, Ryu.
Hello. Please.
Can I help you?
Why are you up here?
Because the tent wasn't comfy anymore.
Uh huh. End of sentence.
Yeah.
Oh, cool.
Didn't like the tent.
Great. Love it. Cool. Well, for breakfast and or to get out of here. And I'm gonna like while I'm up here, I'm gonna start looking around. Like, can I see anything, or is it just thick trees up here?
Uh, Primarily, it's a bunch of thick trees, but you can see dotted here and there in every direction, um, little clearings, little places that can be stopped. Some of them there's smoke that lets you know that someone or something is there. Uh, you do not see the road in any direction.
I don't see the road, but I see like how many smokestocks.
I don't know. I would have to read. I would have to count a whole bunch of pages. Let's say at
Okay.
least
Yeah.
10.
All right. Cool. It's enough for me to be like, there are several other people within walking distance. We at this. I don't see road. I am inclined to look down at Jin and be like, all right, you kind of, if you remember what's over there, I can remember what's over here. So we know any given direction that we can
Okay.
find some people, hopefully.
But will they be people or will they be chicken huts?
Right. I didn't see a chimney on that last chicken hut, so I'm going to assume not a chicken hut.
What about like a different kind of hut? Like a
An
rooster
elephant
hut.
hut? Oh.
Or an elephant hut, yeah.
So I have no answer for that. None. Nar.
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 But
Okay.
we could hear and see an elephant hut coming, so I think we'll be fine.
Okay.
I think I just kind of like wander back into camp because like Arnika, you said that I've like just seemed to be pointing out, walking around stuff. I think I just come back and like there's this scene from of all things like Ratatouille where Remy's just asking his buddy, it's like, what are you eating? And his buddy's just like, I don't really know. And I think I have a very similar expression on my face where I'm just like gnawing on a big piece of like very flattened fungus of some kind. Like it's probably a mushroom or something. I'm just like casually like chomping on it. And I was like, I have steaks for us if we want.
You are eating a mushroom.
You say steaks?
Yeah, you can kind of like grill these down. And, like if you cut it into strips, it's almost like you get like the texture of like steak if you grill this down. I'm sure Arnika's capable enough to do it.
As you point in the other direction, I am actually directly behind you. I startle you slightly as I'm like,
Jesus.
oh, I freaking hate mushrooms. For you see, I have been
Fuck.
following you. I've been following you the whole time, just completely soundlessly, because I didn't have anything to say. I was just watching what you were doing. But my footfall could not be heard as we walked through the leaves, the branches, the nothing. Apparently, I move soundlessly through the woods now. All right.
Nope.
Hey, donations.
I don't. Nope. I don't like this.
Mm.
I don't like this.
Love to move silently through the woods.
I
But-
didn't
God,
even
no.
notice. I'm used to walking in the woods by myself. It never occurred to me that I wasn't making a sound. I just thought I was, following Angela. Do. Angela was picking stuff,
This
so
is
I
how
was picking
murders
stuff.
happen. You realize this,
This is
right?
how-
Like this is
yeah.
how like the
Well, you
start
don't
of like
accidentally murder
every
someone.
like this is how folk horror murders happen. Just straight up someone just appears and just then someone doesn't notice them, the person doesn't notice them, ends up dead, or they end up strung up just fucking like
I mean,
skewered by a tree or something. I don't know.
I'm just sitting there. I'm just sad. I'm just pouting. I've got a handful of berries. I'm like, I did not just appear. I was behind you the whole time. I bet Ryu and Jen can see me from the tree. Ryu and Jen, just so you know, you could see me from the tree. It looked, nobody knew that I was sneaking up on Angela. Y'all had no idea Angela couldn't hear me. Angela had no idea I was there. I'm just following Angela, picking berries. She's like, ooh, berries. I'm like, ooh, berries. She's like, ooh, mushrooms. I'm like, I'm not, ooh, Angela's got her hands full of mushrooms. That looks like enough mushrooms for us. Let me grab some more berries. I grabbed some fiddleheads. We got this. We got this. We scared the shit out of each other. It was great. I'm
Actually, I think
sorry.
you just scared the shit out of her.
I'm easily startled myself.
So
Yeah,
am
we know.
I.
You screamed, I screamed, we all screamed together.
Okay.
Because I'm
Did
so
either
sorry,
of
I will grill
you
the mushrooms for you.
did either of you see any sign of road or people?
No.
Well,
Ryu and I saw
yeah.
shit.
Yeah, there's a couple fires going over here and a couple over there. So the best option would be to try to trail ourselves to some of those and see if we can't hitch on with whoever's making those.
Okay. So Jen, I'm gonna have you roll the 4d12.
All right. You want the sum, right?
Yep.
Okay. 22.
Okay. And tell me which direction we have taken off in.
We have taken off to the east.
Okay. I would just like to remind everybody as we're leaving that the clearing we are been in, that we have spent the night in, haven't we been here before? You were certainly not lost a moment ago, but then one of you noticed that you were certainly not lost, and now you certainly are. So we head to the left. We are headed for 22, but that's not where we're going to go. Angela, please roll 4d12 because we're lost. And this time it's not my fault.
You know what? I should have expected this.
It'll work for
And
you. We never climbed the tree. We have no idea where we are. So where you say we're going is actually where we will go because you have no certainty. It's great. Fairy
Great.
bullshit.
29.
All right, 29.
Also, hello to all of our favorite Brits in the chat who are turning in for, as JC Darcy has put it, Arnica's dark whimsy bullshit.
Honestly, it's perfect. It's gorgeous.
Also,
Mhm.
thank you
Yeah.
to the lovely Lauren Mistress for getting us up to 300 out of $500. We are
Yeah.
We're
60%
getting
of the way through
there
that goal, folks. We appreciate all the love and support you're giving us for this.
so much.
And we appreciate you tuning in for what is three of us just waiting for
Suffering.
Arnica to, yes, suffer, basically.
Oh, we're having a great time.
Suffer,
We're
parentheses,
lost.
lovingly or affectionately.
We are
I almost forgot about
lost.
the we are definitely lost.
Lost is it's great being lost. It's about the journey.
No,
It's about the journey.
no.
Oh,
That's what every white person says before they die. They're like, you know what? We're gonna be fine. It's the journey,
There's-
right?
Where there are
Hatchet
that
or
is
one of three
creature
things
appears.
is the last thing they say. That's one
Yeah,
of
it-
them.
Also,
it's
Angela,
I know y'all must be so glad you don't have to carry my NPC through this like Leon Toten Ashley, because gosh, wouldn't that be obnoxious if I was just an NPC constantly in your way, unsaving myself all the time.
Awful.
Yeah, but then,
Also,
but if you were Ashley, I could just tell you to go sit in a random, a nondescript like trash can or something while I have a hand grenade. Like, there's a very large
You
difference
haven't
between what
tried
can
that
happen.
yet. For all you know, that will also work with me.
I
You
only
haven't
have a
tried.
flare. Well,
Yeah,
to
I
be fair,
don't
I have
have that.
5 flares, but that's not a
Wow.
hand grenade.
I'm
Angela, I
autistic
have
and I
some
don't like loud
concerns.
noises. It would work.
Angela,
So-
since when did you become a mushroom enthusiast?
I just assumed it's my partner leaking through in my personality again. Pretty much everything that has become my existence slowly but surely comes from my partner.
And she knows what mushrooms are safe to eat in Maine?
They know
They.
what mushrooms are safe to eat most places. They're kind of that person. They're the kind of person who, when people say the term tree hugger, that's probably literal for them.
Ryu was hugging a tree earlier.
Hello? No, I wasn't. That was
Yeah,
you.
you were.
You were.
I wasn't hugging it, I was sleeping in it.
Why were you okay?
Huggingly.
There's too many questions.
Huggingly.
We are walking. We are walking. We
And
are
we're
walking.
walking.
Okay, so 2 questions before we leave the clearing. Ryu, are you leaving that cooler? Jen, are you leaving your tent?
No, I respect nature. I pick up after myself.
I'm not leaving the cooler.
Good call. Both of your humanity stays where it is. And we continue. Uh, so it's a little wander. It's just, we walk for about 20 minutes in the direction that Jen pointed. And we see that it's clearing up. We've got to be coming through we can't be too far from the road, right? Like, you know how sometimes the road's in front of town and you walk into the back of town? We've got to be walking into the back of town because there is more smoke than you anticipated. At least a couple chimneys worth is up in the sky. You can hear. Okay, actually, you don't hear very much, but you don't hear as much wildlife. So I don't know. We're coming up on something. We're coming up on some buildings. The trees are thinning, and you can see that we're approaching side of a hill from the back end of kind of a crooked village. And at the top of that hill, we love an old Cape Victorian in Maine. Like it's our little dollhouse. We love Cape Victoria with some gingerbread trim. Why this is out in the middle of nowhere? Who the fuck? No one's gonna waste their time building this far out. You don't make a camp like this. This is 3 stories. It's gorgeous. It's a dark purple. It has a light purple trim, has little leaded stained glass windows, just a little dollhouse of a thing. With a gray black spire. Except that's only the front of it. The side of it and the back has been scorched. It's just kind of the burnt out remains of this building. Above, the sky has started to crack. You know, the clouds are moving incorrectly. They are starting to turn gray. There are little slivers of regular daylight. Like it's slowly turning into a wasteland in the sky above us. Now, below the village, there are no humans that we don't hear any other people, but we do hear a steady like clucking, like a rattle of roosters, some hens. There's actually quite a few
normal
chickens.
clucking.
Yeah, normal clucking, like animals. And a rooster keeper used to live in this burned out building. She might still be there, but there are certainly a fuck ton of there's so many roosters and chickens. And everyone who, if there's anyone in this chat who knew me in high school, they have just thrown up their hands in despair. Because do you know what my absolute favorite thing to do is? Y'all don't know this. This is so great. I couldn't have planned this better if I knew we were going here. Do you know what my favorite thing to do with a chicken is?
Eat it.
Chase it. I love to chase the chicken.
Okay, but you didn't chase the
Goodbye.
big one. No.
Goodbye. Y'all
Arnica!
lost me. I have taken off down the hill. Because you see, I'm not fast enough to catch a chicken, but one day I'm gonna catch that chicken. I'm gonna pet the shit out that chicken. I'm gonna pet that chicken. I used to be in so much trouble. I would chase my friends' neighbors' chickens because I wanted to pet them.
I do love chickens. They're very
And
cute.
they had to explain to me, not as a child, as a teenager, that I could not chase the chickens because I was setting them off their laying. And I'm like, I just want to pet the chickens. They're like, these chickens do not want to be petted, especially by someone who chases them all day every time they see them. So just know that I have run off. I am chasing chickens. What would you like to do?
So I just want to note for the chat two things. Number one, for those of you who have ever played Legend of Zelda and had the experience with what happens when you hit the cuckoos too much,
That right there.
that's all that's going through my head right now.
That right there.
And number two, if any of you go and look up a Cape Victorian in Maine, it just straight up looks like a setting that like The Conjuring or somewhere else would have taken place at because of the design of the house. That's a red flag for me to say, get the fuck out of here.
Those
No.
are so okay. You don't understand how standard those are. I fucking love those. I want one. I love a Cape Victorian. They are so
Arnica?
quintessentially Maine. Like that's not even me telling y'all for the game. I freaking love them. They're just so us.
I just look at you two and I'm like, someone better than me needs to go get Arnica because this is the second time, and I got news for you.
While Arnica is chasing chickens, I'm going to approach one, look it in the big little eye, and say, "I will do my best to get my friend to stop chasing your friends."
This chicken looks at you. No, I'm talking about chicken. I'm not talking to you, Gina. Go play. Goodbye. Good day, sir. Good day. This chicken looks at you deeply, meaningfully, and turns and starts to walk slowly up towards the house on the hill. Turns and looks at you again. The chicken would like you to follow it to the house on the hill. What do you want to do, Jen?
I will follow the chicken to the house on the hill because I have no brain cells left.
All right. You go ahead. Roll me a d6 real quick. You
All
just gotta
right.
roll under a 5. Super easy.
2. We're good.
Yeah.
Every time you say that, it never goes well. This is a rarity.
Yeah, right.
No, I know. I normally take a break about this time, but we're going the full 2 hours, so I'm gonna need you to go play somewhere. You're fine.
Here's Arnica. Here's the thing. As someone in the chat dared me to say, you don't scare me.
I
I was
This is
Dan, I'm
I-
sorry.
This is where Ryu and I just slowly back away from our rigs. We're like, okay,
Now-
Jen wants to poke the bear. We fucked.
Now, Ryu and Angela, you have kind of wandered so that you can keep an eye on me. I'm not particularly fast. I'm not going to catch these chickens. It's perfectly fine. And you're realizing that while I should be able to sneak up on them because I am silent, I'm not silent. I am flapping my hands. I am squealing. I am in a full stem. I am so excited. I'm going to pet a chicken. The chicken obviously all hear me coming because I can't stop clapping and going, I'm against the chicken.
It's really
And it occurs to you that you can just let me wear myself out. So none of you are paying attention. Nobody sees Jen following this other chicken to the top of the hill and disappearing into the house. Now, Jen, once upon a time, a rooster keeper used to live in this house. And if you had asked her why the sky cracked, she'd tell you that this mansion had once beckoned the moon and to plucked out her eye, like had called the moon down and said, ha 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 ha, and tricked the moon out of one of her eyes. If you ask the rooster why the sky is cracked, they tend to just not answer you and crow at what they think is a never-ending dawn. Like it's so noisy between me, the roosters, and everything else. It is just a fucking cacophony down in the burnt out remains of the city. Now, the rooster keeper eventually got sick of all this noise. She wandered off into the backwoods and found a comfortable place to sleep. It's not particularly far away. You can, in fact, see where she's hiding. She's just got some shit in her ears. She's kind of hidden in a little space off to the side of her bed. You can wake her up if you'd like. Maybe she has some answers. She's a little dusty, though. She seems to have been asleep for a very, very long time. The chicken just sits there on her bed, looking between you and the rooster keeper, and you and the rooster keeper. What would you like to do?
I look at this chicken and I'm like, do you want me to wake up your mom?
Chicken just kind of look at you like, "Book, book, book, bah, book."
Excuse me, Miss Van Winkle. I'll just like reach out and give her a little shaky shake. Because again, brain cells.
Okay. So, go ahead. D6 time. You need to roll.
It's another 2.
I was about to say, you rolled too fast, buddy. You had to roll under your fae, and you did not. So the good news is you're gonna wake her up. The bad news is your fae goes up by 1, your humanity goes down. You're sitting at what,
3
like
and 4.
3 and 4? Yeah.
Human 4, fae 3.
So the rooster keeper starts to stir. You kind of go over, you're like, hey lady, hey, you go over, you give her a shake. It kind of fluffs the dust all up. You know how you are with dust. You start sneezing, the rooster sneezes, scares the shit out the lady. Lady sits up, smacks her head on the overhang of where she's sleeping, and grabs you. Her nails, too long, dig into your shoulders. Her breath is dry and fetid. It smells like rotting roses as she leans so close, her papery mummy lips brushing against your ear. Roll a d6 and I'll tell you what she says.
4.
A world. It's a world identical to our own, and no one figures out how waterfalls work, and they worship them as gods.
Okay, but how do I get home?
And she's clinging to you. so tightly that her nails are starting to dig in, and she's just rambling. This
Ma'am,
woman has slept for decades.
ma'am,
For
you feel like one of
decades
my
now.
cats when I try and remove my hand from pets. Ma'am,
Is nothing she says makes sense. The rooster has started to wander over. He's looking between you and her and you and her. The rooster's starting to look pissed and a little bit aggressive, Jen. Are you
I
gonna
look at
keep
this
trying to
rooster,
make
I'm
her
like,
make sense?
I look at this rooster, I'm like, you started this. You know, I know someone who'd love to pet you. Come here. You deserve each other.
All right. Are you going to, so you're just gonna go ahead, pull back, and leave this woman
Yeah,
rambling
I
to
don't want to
herself?
die. Yeah, I don't want to die.
All right. So Jen picks up the rooster, who's just staring at this woman. It's kind of a cold and calculating stare, as if the rooster was to say, ha ha ha, this is what you get. You leave her, muttering to herself in the darkness. You shut the door of the burnt out house. You wander down, and you hand me a rooster. I have given up. I have just sat down, a hat, and I'm tired, and I'm exhausted, and I'm just and I'm just having a cigarette. Fuck it. It's too much work. Chickens
Here's
are
the
not worth
rooster.
it. I have never been so happy. I pet the rooster. The rooster is not nearly as happy with me as it was with you. I'm a little too human for it to be comfortable with me just holding it. You, however, you're perfectly fine. You're weird enough now. The rooster reluctantly lets me pet it 2 or 3 times before it hops down and begins to follow you around.
I have a friend.
That's a friend. And I'm just like, you know what? These roosters were fun, but what if we don't keep staying here and we keep pushing on? Because I ain't got nothing. I got nothing, y'all. There's. I thought there would be a road on the other side of this. There is no road. There's just more woods. Who builds a fucking town with no road?
Yeah, I mean, I found this lady up there. She said something about waterfalls.
Like
As
you
in, don't
should.
go chasing them, or
Like we should look for waterfalls. Like we
You
shouldn't
should
look for
listen
waterfalls.
to the rivers. Nice.
That we're
She
used to.
wasn't making much
Like we
sense,
used
so I
to.
wouldn't put too much stock in whatever she said. Honestly, most of it's just gone one in one ear and out the other. But my friend here, and like I like grab the rooster and I hold it up.
Mhm.
Which way?
What a
Which
great
way?
question. Okay, Jen, go ahead and roll 4d12, and the rooster will tell you which way to go.
All right, that's a lot of big numbers. Wow. 40.
40. All right. So the
40.
rooster, uh-huh. The rooster kind of swivels around before it flaps its wings. It points kind of northeasterly from where we are. And we're like, all right, cool. We head off that direction. Now, Jen, you are in the lead. You and your rooster. And you're just kind of, you've set the rooster down, just following the rooster. We're following you because why not? At this point, I think we've all just kind of settled on the fact that we're pretty sure we're not in Maine anymore. I have not been able to come up with a single lie about about how this could possibly be Maine anymore.
I still
There's
think it's Maine, honestly. I don't think we're out of Maine. I honestly think we're still in Maine.
right, but I haven't told y'all this because, well, I'm now starting to, at this rate, I'm going to develop a reputation for accidentally dragging people to weird fairylands when I say come visit Maine. Like at this point, out of everyone I've invited in games in real life, only 2 have driven in and out of Maine without some fairy bullshit happening. I've got
I just realized something. I think that means that you would be the person in a zombie apocalypse who, if you get bitten, you wouldn't mention it because you're like, well, I was off doing something I shouldn't have, and I don't want people to feel disappointed in me. That's what you would be in this
I mean,
scenario.
to be fair,
Fucking
I
mood.
wouldn't come back if I got bit in a zombie apocalypse. But yeah, no one would ever know. I would slink away in shame. I would never come back to the city. I'd be like, I was fucking around. I got bit. Let me just go die in the woods, zombified. So anyway, we follow this rooster, and there's a noise. It's droning. It's a little bit organic and it's a little bit mechanical. It kind of starts like it's loud. It sounds like we should have heard it way before we actually did. Um, but what we've wandered into as we cross the last little piece of, overgrown bracken through there's no path. We've just been following the chicken. And as we just kind of crush through this bracken and come out, we see that there's a variety, this whole bunch of these like prehistoric, they're not quite hemlocks, they're not quite pines. These are the trees that lived in Maine when dinosaurs lived in Maine. And they're just kind of branching over and hanging from where their branches intertwine. There is the original prototype of the clockwork beehive.
I'm sorry, the
So,
what?
oh, it's fine. It's just, that there happened to be tales told in the backwoods about a tireless tinkerer. He was deeply concerned with a malicious thief who he thought was stealing every 10th bee from the backwoods. So for an age and a day, he hid inside his workshop, and he heaved and hammered and smelted and sawed, and when he came out with the clockwork beehive. It is
Obviously.
obviously, uh, it's guarded by a swarm of clockwork hornets laden with locks and traps and indescribable glyphs. Anyone who tries to beat this would be swiftly and painfully rebuked. Uh, but I mean, are we really gonna try it though? I don't. It seems to me like bees are bros, right? Like, so if we don't fight the bees, we're good. Hornets are not bros. Hornets are assholes. But what is the likelihood that the Hornets are gonna try to chase us? Y'all, I don't know. I don't know.
Hornets are mean fuckers.
They are. You were on the phone with me when one bit me. I had a fucking fit all day. Who
Yep.
was on? Yeah, bit me right on my arm fat. I could not believe that this summer, just out of nowhere. I'm just sitting on my bench smoking. Bee just bit me in my arm fat.
Well,
Anyway,
I've got a rooster, so the rooster and I are gonna stay where it's safe over here, as I and my rooster just kind of retreat a little bit to a safe distance.
You know what? I'm just gonna call out to the beehive at this point because let's just review. We saw Chicken Hut. Aranka chased some chickens and then got a rooster. Jen met whoever the hell they met, and we've been following a rooster. I don't think this can get any worse.
Well, don't say that too loud.
No, I'm saying it out loud. I don't think it can get
Why?
any worse.
Why?
You
Okay.
said it. You said the
Why?
white person thing.
Hey,
You
if
did.
we're
So here's the
passing the
thing. Here's the
baton
thing.
of
Here's the
who
thing.
makes the right decision in a horror movie, it's
It's
my
your
turn. God
turn.
damn it.
It is. It is your turn. So I'm gonna need you to go ahead and roll me a d6. And again, it's so easy. You just don't roll a 6.
Roll another 5. I've rolled so many 5s this game.
You are so good at rolling 5s. I'm so proud of you. So you holler up towards the mechanical hive. and all these clockwork hornets start coming out slow. They don't come out in a big swarm like real hornets, but they come out real slow and they're starting to line up. And it occurs to you that, you know what? Those definitely don't look like any bees. Those are all mechanical hornets, and you don't want no part of that. They don't look like they want to answer a question. These are not bees or bros. These are hornets or assholes. And
I also want to
you
note for the record that the only reason I did one of these faces, this was not a response to Arnica's statements about a fucking hornets proven to be the biggest assholes. It's Cat in chat saying I should be careful, and I take offense. I take offense, Hogan 698, to being voted the one to say I'll be right back. Fuck no, I would not have gone this deep into the woods if it weren't for my friends. The only reason that I am still here is that I care more about making sure other people are safe
True.
over my own well-being. It
That
is my
is not
biggest
true.
true.
You are still here because you can't find your way out.
That
Also
is also true.
Also that.
I was having a good moment of feeling good about my ethics and my morals. I
You
don't need
know-
logic to
That's
read
why
it.
I said also, all of these things are true. But the good news is that you avoided the trap of being convinced that you can go ahead and talk to the bees. You recognize that there is nothing but hornets, nothing but
They
giant mechanical hornets, and that it is probably best to leave before they empty out of the hive.
okay. They're not making any gestures or movement to actually go forward beyond what they've already done, correct?
They are amassing, they are going to, as soon as they are all out, but they're clockwork, so they follow a very specific pattern. The whole hive empties, so we've got a little bit of time to get away. But yeah, no, as soon as all the hornets are out, they gonna jump our asses.
Okay, let's go, everybody. Take care. Good luck. Let's get it the fuck out of here.
Cat, I swear to God.
All of you, just all of you in a row. All of there's like 4 puns happening in a row over there. All of them from like the same person.
You know what? That's what y'all get for reading chat. I'm just like, ha ha ha, look at that. I can't, like Arthur's little sister, I can't read today. Ryu, why don't you go ahead? You roll us 4d12. You take off in one direction, and we're all gonna follow you running.
Oh boy.
While Ryu's rolling that, I'm just gonna give 2 of these to our lovely mistress in chat. Also Hogan 698. A buzz with bullshit.
26.
I'm just gonna
You're not
say,
helping Darcy.
if people are gonna, if y'all are gonna be making all these puns at me, I'm gonna have to, Darcy, I'm gonna have to charge you like $5 for the puns. Kat already paid for her puns. Everybody else who wants to pun at me, I'm gonna need you to go ahead and put in $5 to the It Gets Better project.
Oh my God, Hogan. I
I'm actually
Oh
taking
my
psychic
God.
damage right now.
Jesus.
What did I say?
All of you are
Yeah,
canceled.
Target. I probably have to recount it, but I'm almost certain it was 26.
26. Okay.
Yeah.
So
Okay. Yeah.
Ryu sees the hornets falling out. Ryu's like, takes off, books it, goes in that direction. We all just follow Ryu. You know what? Because there's a rule, and the POC know it. Did one person do the hop, skip, and a run? Cool. It's time for everyone to do the hop, skip, and a run. It's time to go. Are there questions? We'll ask them when we're done running. We all know that run. We all do that run. We all leave this area. And by the time we slow down and stop, we find ourselves kind of on the edge of a little pond. It's not like super big, but it's not really deep. It's a little thing, right? We can see the bottom. There's not a lot of stuff in it. However, there's like one koi. And this koi is, just in the water, He's flapping around. He looks miserable. He looks confused. It's just like flopping around. It doesn't know what to do. It looks like it's on dry land, even though it's in the water. Now, it could just be Magikarp in it. It could just be a not very talented swimmer. Maybe that's just how they move. For all we know, this fish is having a great time. Doesn't look like it's having a great time, but also, the fuck do we know about fairy wood bullshit? Maybe that fish is supposed to be Magikarping in this little beautiful koi pond with nothing around it. What you want to do?
I would like to take out some of my uncooked rations. Take some bread, I don't know. And toss it in the pond to see how the fish reacts.
Okay.
I'm feeding the fish.
The fish doesn't seem to notice. It is definitely Magikarping. It looks, as you get closer, you can see that this fish, okay, you know how they describe the difference between a bunny and a hare is that a bunny is, look at those eyes, not a thought behind them, and a hare has seen the reality of nature and on 5 dimensions, and that's why they look like that. This fish looked like the hare equivalent of a Magikarp. This is a fish that has comprehended reality on a scale far beyond fish.
I
He
would
just
like to
looks
ask.
at you.
I look the fish in the eye and I say, "Can you tell us how to get out of here?"
The fish looks you in the eye, and it flaps up towards the top, and its head is constantly going in and out of the water. And as it looks at you, here is what the fish says. It says that once there was a philosopher, and this philosopher had an existential question about should we about viewing life through the perspective of fish, by which he wanted to know, a life surrounded by water, does that mean that there is no thought given to the existence of water itself? So after many heavy arguments, the philosopher and his friends and a lot of heavy drinking, one of them went and built this beautiful koi pond in the middle of nowhere. And they went, filled it with water, and dropped in a fish. And then, just as all of them predicted, the fish did what fishes do. He had known there was no water when he was being held out of it, and as soon as he was dropped in, he promptly forgot about the water and began swimming. So all these philosophers crouched down around the fish, and they explained to him the concept of water. They explained to him the concept of air, and they explained to him that all things drown in water. And so the fish has found itself for the past several hundred years constantly freaking out because every time he's underwater where he can breathe, he thinks he's drowning. Because you see, he's a fish. He doesn't understand. They only told him half of it. But when he sticks his head above the air so that he won't drown, he can't breathe because he's a fish. So he's telling you all his sad, sad tale in between sticking his head under the water where he can breathe and freaking out thinking he's drowning and sticking his head above the water where he thinks he's safe. I don't think he can help you. Would y'all like to maybe try to help this fish? Maybe you can help him though. Or you just
Yes.
want to be like, ooh, not my problem.
Hey, little bro.
The
Did
fish
they
just kind of
explain?
like,
Hey, little bro. Did they explain gills to you?
he goes, no.
Okay. Well, you have them. You feel those little flaps right there?
His gills are flaring, and he
Yeah,
just kind of
those.
for a minute, he kind of relaxes. His gills flare slowly. One of them is under the water, one of them is above the water. He's like, yeah.
One of them feels better right now, right?
He goes, he kind of breathes for a minute. He's slowly unclenching. He's been in a full arch. He's now slowly starting to flatten out a little bit. He's like, maybe.
Which one?
This fish thinks about it, Jen. I want you to know this fish that was traumatized by philosophers stops and does a Chidi and a Gonye style thing. He thinks about this for a full 10 minutes before the fish tells you that the one in the water feels better.
That's the one you can breathe out of, right?
And he looks at you with dismay. He goes, but they said that things drown in water.
Fish don't drown in water. Fish are supposed to be in the water. And you are a fish. You go flop flop.
And he sinks slowly into the water. He just kind of swims in circles. I'm just saying, we're at 320. The goal is 500. By all means, pay the toll and make all the fish puns you want to. I see you, chat. Pay the toll, make the fish puns. I'm charging you for this horror. So the fish settles to the bottom of the pond and swims around for a minute. You can
I give it a
see
thumbs
it.
up.
It's really thinking this through, but for the first time in a century, its anxiety is kind of soothed. It is deeply lost in its own thought, and it swims up to the thing and goes, it looks at you again. It goes, do you have gills?
No, I am not a fish.
But I have gills. What is a fish, really? Now I'm gonna let you know right now that's a trap.
Yeah, I think about it too hard. Is this the part where I roll something?
It's always Jen.
Because Jen
No,
presses the button.
You don't even have to roll on this one. What is happening is that you spend some time, the two of y'all are having a deep moment. Y'all are thinking about the reality, what makes the thing what it is. But then finally the fish kind of stops and he looks and he blinks his little side fishy eyes and he goes, you know what? I think that one might take me more time than you have. What was your question again?
Do you know how to get back home? Like our home, not your home, because your home is this pond. Do you want a different pond?
He goes, no, I kind of like this pond.
Okay.
I'm
Yeah, do you know
like,
how to get out of here?
There we go.
oh, yeah, no, that's really easy. You have to stop trying to get out and get further in. The woods are contrary. They hate being mapped. If you try to map your way to the middle, they'll kick you out so quick your head'll spin. You don't have any paper, do you?
I have a deck of cards.
He goes, cool. I mean, I don't know if they'll help, but maybe. I don't know. Maybe you'll find something. I believe in you. So,
I have a question.
Fish
yeah.
believes in me.
Not everybody has someone who believes in them, Jen. So question. So we're hearing this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm looking over the whole Jen is talking to a fish, and it makes sense because I've long abandoned the idea that sense was supposed to be a thing present here.
Mm-hmm.
Because chicken legs already finished that. Can I use my binoculars to try and keep looking deeper into the forest?
You can. You can go over to the edge of where the fish vaguely kind of splashed in a westernly direction, as the fish said, try to go further in. You can walk over in that direction and try to look with your binoculars. But you're going to need to roll a d6.
Existential
It's
crisis
great.
fish.
Just roll under 6.
That's a 1.
There you go.
Angela's out
Bam.
here so grounded, like
Angela is so human. Just winning the fuck out of this
Joke's
human
on you,
thing.
Faye bullshit. I have trauma to fill in all of that area. I don't need Faye bullshit. It's already filled in with other stuff. No, I'm not gonna say I'll be right back, Hogan. Fuck you.
I
That's
just
hilarious.
have
to
to
be
pee
one
real
of the
quick.
only POC who makes it out of a horror movie situation alive. I'm not risking the chance by tempting fate
ever.
and going
Not
saying
ever.
that.
So Angela walks over to the western edge of this little clearing, peers with the binoculars, and I'm gonna go ahead and roll this, and I'll tell you what you see.
Old dead
All
eyes of the
right.
universe staring back at us. Or something else. I don't know.
So there is, oh gosh, it's fine. It's fine. We're definitely not down in the really weird, creepy shit right now. It's good.
Oh, good. Good,
So as you look, you see that there's a path. It is twisted, it's gnarled, it's a little overgrown, but it is it's a visible path made by something a little bit bigger than one person. Like maybe like not quite moose size, not quite bear size, but definitely slightly bigger than person size. So maybe a tall buck. Who knows? But there is definitely a path in that direction, and it looks well worn and well traveled. That's what you can tell.
Yeah, sure. Let's go. Let's go that way.
At the exact same time, I'm just like, that's bait.
Oh, of course it's bait. I'm sure everything. What do you mean this in particular is bait? Everything about the scenario has been bait. There has been nothing about the scenario that, whether it includes Arnica, us being okay with Arnica leading us in the first part, looking for a chicken house, whatever the hell that rooster said to you. When did you learn how to talk to a rooster, by the way? Whatever that fish is going through, because that God decided to just give anxiety to that fish in particular.
Maybe all fish have anxiety and they just can't talk to us about it.
So
Way
we
too
can
calm.
head in that direction and try to get out, or the sun is starting to go down.
No, we're
Would
trying to
you
get
like
in.
to try to sleep? Yeah, we can try to get out by going in. We can try to get further in. We can try to push it as the sun goes down, or we can try to sleep one last time. What do you want to do?
I'm comfy. Let's just go to sleep.
Bullshit.
Real good.
Wait, what'd you say, Angela?
I said real good.
Real good. Shit. Okay. Jen, everybody else wants to push deeper.
If people want to push deeper, I will follow my friends. However, I am feeling a growing sense of kinship with these woods, and I am going to be a little bit sad about it.
I understand. I get that. I mean, I don't get it. It's weird as fuck, but you're also weird as fuck, and I love you. So I understand. So as we push through, we're definitely walking through we might even be heading home. Like that fish might be right, because this is the first obvious like deer path we have seen. So maybe we found the same deer path we were following. I mean, probably not, because the foliage is not becoming main foliage again, but like we've got one out of two things in it's good. It's fine until we see ahead of us it's not quite as big as a moose. It's a little bit bigger than a white-tailed deer. It has, from the back, what we see are three long, tattered, old stained sheets. Like Charlie Brown dressed as a ghost ass sheets. They seem to be dangling from like the prehensile tails. There are 3 prehensile tails on this giant deerish thing, and each one of them has like this Charlie Brown ghost sheet dangling from it. And one of the tails swivels its little sheet at us and goes, "Ooh."
You couldn't even do it. You couldn't even
Yeah,
keep a straight face.
you
You
broke
didn't even
yourself
make it.
on that one, Arnica.
Well, that's how ridiculous it looks. What are you
I
going?
am
How do y'all? You know what? Fuck y'all for not laughing. A deer just turned around its ass and
I laughed.
woo!
So put me in everyone else's category. I laughed.
I am going to be very polite and act scared.
You know what? The thing is, I can't fully commit to a laugh right now because in my head, the only thing I'm imagining is what kind of like weird, like Charlie Brown-esque Junji Ito, this hole was made for me situation are we ending up in right now? Because that's what this feels like. I know this is bait in some way. I know how this works.
So Jen is faking fear.
I am
Angela
polite.
is giving some great genuine discomfort. Ryu, how do you react to this deer's ass going woo?
I am not. I. Mm-mm. So, are we saying that the tails are all together? They're all going woo, or
No, just one of them. Just
just one?
has turned around.
Okay. Well, I'm looking at the other two. What are they doing?
They've leaned in behind the one going ooh, like they're talking to each other.
Hey Carl, I don't know if this is working out, man. Maybe we need to change tactics. I don't know if this is scaring him or not.
I think I'm just oh no, scary group of ghosties. I wonder if they could point us in the direction of further into the forest. Ooh.
Y'all are so good at this bullshit. The two tails that were whispering at each other kind of perk up, and all 3 of the tails turn away, and you see the head of this deer thing. It looks like a deer. Its eyes are maybe a little bit smarter than they should be, and it's a little cartoony in a way that leans almost too close to Uncanny Valley. Like it's almost too cute. But it looks at you like it can't believe this is working. It's so excited. No one ever believes, but we believe. It's so thrilled. And all of a sudden, the 3 tails stop and they turn and they go, "You go that way." And they point back in the direction we just walked from.
Are you lying?
Is it
Little ghost
opposite
tail.
day?
Little ghost tail on the left looks offended. It's just fluffed up. It cannot believe this. How dare you?
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to offend.
Yeah, so all of them point it behind us in the direction we came one last time. And then the deer turns its head one last time, turns to look at us, just gives kind of suspicious eye. Because you might be kidding, but then it looks at Angela, and Angela does look just genuinely discomforted. There it goes. Just kind of huffs and nods and bounds off through the woods.
And
So
sheets flapping in the wind.
Sheets flapping in the wind. Now, what we just encountered was called the Fodama. Bless its heart, it thinks that it is 3 different tree spirits. It just woke up one day and it thought it was the ghost of 3 trees. Now, the bad news is that it is just She's confused. She has some rough days. The good news is that she knows the woods better than anyone else. So if she says we should probably turn around and go in the direction we just came from, then the way in deeper is probably to turn around and go in the direction we just came from. Um, now, what y'all don't know is that my character, when I rolled up what was in my NPC's pockets, I do have a small notepad and pen. Just like always, your best bitch has her sticky notes with her. So I've been mapping. And as I look and watch the Fodama get away, I visibly take out my pen and sticky notes and I begin to write. And as I do, there is a rustling among the trees, just a shudder of disgust and anger. And I go, oh, this will be so great. I can't wait to get all the way into the middle and map every single inch of this thing. I just kind of look at y'all.
You sound so white right now.
Yep.
Oh my fucking God, this is no. Will you fucking please play along? Gosh,
Honestly, I think we're
golly.
almost done mapping this place. I think we're gonna be fine. I
Yeah.
I don't know if the trees could actually stop us from mapping this entire place.
That's what
I-
I'm saying. I don't think they can stop us if we want to. We are gonna map this whole thing and then we're gonna sell it
Yeah.
on Amazon
Not Amazon.
for
And
money.
we're gonna lead camping tours.
As
Yeah.
soon as we find the middle, that's exactly what we're gonna do. We're gonna set up a glamping zone, aren't we, Ryu?
Yeah, totally. Glamping zone, right. I've got the all we gotta do is get the signal and I can upload the GPS.
Boom. All right, let's go ahead. So, who wants to roll one last time?
Hear me out. We each roll one.
Yes, let's do that. Everybody roll 1d12.
I will hold my number until you ask for it.
Okay, I have an 8. Angela, what do you have?
3.
Jen, what do you have?
I also have an 8.
Okay. Rhea?
I got a 1.
All together, we got a 20. This is the most raggedy 20, but it's also natural 20 because I said so. We naturally added up to get 20.
It's true.
Really,
It
that's
is
what
very
it
natural.
means. So, as we turn around and push deeper into the forest, we notice that the sky has darkened immensely. Not just that the sun has gone down, but the moon has failed to rise. Stars are not peeking through. The branches are interlocking. They are weaving overhead. Uh, I am absolutely not afraid to point out that my little bitch made self has squeezed in just as tight as I can with y'all. We are like walking arm in arm, like Dorothy and Best Bitches. We will not be separated, lions and tigers and bears. Oh no. Instead, what we see is we see a very, very small clearing. It's just big enough for a large mowed down stump and a couple smaller little arched pieces of root. On one side, there's a man. He jangles in trinket sewn finery, kind of scritches in the parts of them that are threadbare. Uh, he is both opulence and hardship from 1 inch of himself to the other. Uh, he'd bet his last pair with a traveling bear, it said, for the chance to win half of that pair back. To the gambler, that half a pair would be better than a dozen pairs grown. So the gambler is sitting between us and what looks like some normal ass woods. Y'all may not have known the difference, but I do, and that's just a regular, basic bitch pine tree on the other side of him. We have not seen the main state tree in a hot minute. That That's the main state pine. That's the main pine. That's a main pine. That is reality behind this man. And he is sitting between us and it. And he just wants to know, just real quick, do we want to play a game?
No.
He said, are we sure? It might be real important.
I look very tempted.
What kind of game?
And this man, this sumbitch, it's almost like he knows us and our weaknesses because he reaches in and he pulls out like this gorgeously heavy metal D10. It's covered in flowers and he goes, you just got to roll this.
And
some of these numbers win and some of these numbers lose. Do you want to gamble? You want to play?
You know what?
what do you lose? Now I'm holding Jen. What do we lose when we lose? And what do we win when we win?
He laughs and goes, it depends on what your number is. The rules are different for everybody. Nobody wants the same thing. And
Will you
behind him, so close, you didn't realize how not real this place smelled. It smelled too clean. It smelled too good. But there's a whiff of like heavy exhaust as a logging truck goes by. Whatever is on the side of him is so close to the road. You can smell cut pine and, truck exhaust. But do you have to play to get out? Do you not play to get out? No one has explained these rules to us, but this man is sitting there with a gorgeous D10 and he wants to know, do you want to play? Do you want to play?
You know what, bud? I will pull out my deck of cards, shuffle it thoroughly, and fan it out. Pick a card.
I'm
Okay.
just gonna shuffle to the right side of the.
All right. I start shuffling with Ryu while the gambler is distracted with Jen's fanned cards. Ryu and I start shuffling around him towards reality. Angela, what are you doing? He is entranced. He cannot take his eyes off this deck of cards.
I'm doing like fancy card tricks. I'm doing the fancy bridge. I'm just like, ooh.
I have two very different impulses happening right now, and I don't know which one to indulge. There's a part of me that wants to be heroic, and then there's a part of me that just wants to indulge in a moment of violence.
Just know that I'm on my rogue shit, and if I get close enough,
I am going to go grab Jen and just try and start slowly leading her away while he's distracted by the cards.
Okay. So roll me a d6 real quick.
ooh,
Angela, who's trying to grab Jen and lead her away. Trying to lead them away.
That's another 5.
Bam.
Holy shit.
You are so fucking good at humaning. You are the most successful human being out of all of us today. I want you to know, girl. You managed to get Jen. Jen is not paying attention. Jen is busy hypnotizing the gambler with, fans and shuffles. The gambler, you see that it unfolds itself into something much bigger than it looked. It looms over you like old Enoch in Over the Garden Walls. It's good 15 feet tall, too thin, finery and rags all at the same time, and it's just folding, looming, eyes on the cards. And as we get to the very edge of the place where reality and fairyland meet, Jen, roll me one last d6.
All right. The 4.
Perfect. Right as we get to the edge, as Angela reaches where Ryu and I are. Ryu grabs me. I grab Angela. Angela grabs you, and you take the cards in both hands and you just fling them. You let them up in the air. The 52 scatter. And as it rocks back, trying to catch all of them, Ryu yanks back, pulling me. I pull Angela. Angela pulls you. And we all land on our asses about 6 feet from where we walked into the woods. The bonnet on top of the car has not yet cooled. The engine is still clicking in the car. We have barely been gone seconds.
Arnica, we're never going camping again.
I
Yeah,
do
we're
not
not
want to go
doing it.
with
camping.
you.
Y'all want to go to Funtown? Funtown is like the exact opposite of camping. It
Great.
is roller coaster.
Absolutely.
feel
I
like
just
let's
want
do
y'all to
that.
know that I was about 2 seconds away from lighting this bottle of amaretto with a flare and just seeing what would happen from there. I just
Yeah,
want y'all to know
so
that's what
cool.
I was
my
considering.
hand was very sharp from the knife that I had. I was just getting real close to the guy.
Wait.
I was just gonna do a murder.
Do I
Okay.
still have a rooster?
We do still have a magical rooster. He's looking kind of regular right now. In fact, he's looking at you kind of like, hey. He was so smart, and now he's hey, but he still is following you. Good luck
Okay,
getting him on the plane. So as we all pile, me and Angela and Jen and Ryu and the rooster into our rented SUV to get the fuck out of this portion of Maine and never, ever go camping in the woods again because my father was right. I would just like to thank all of you for showing up today for this fantastic, ridiculous, why did y'all let me do this Hoard of Tales charity game? We deeply appreciate every single dollar that has been donated to the It Gets Better project during this stream. Don't forget to stick around. You will go ahead and have the chance to wrap up the evening with people from Hoard of Tales. We deeply appreciate you being here, and I'm just going to pass it around so we can say bye one last time, and we will hand the stream back over to where it belongs. Let's go we'll go in the exact same order. So let's start with Angela.
Mother, I craved violence near the end of that entire one shot, and
Mother,
I
I
chose
crave
not to
violence.
indulge. Hello there, lovely people. Thank you so much for tuning in to us. This is pretty much just what you should expect from our council as just people. We do a lot of good work, and then this is where we choose to have our moments of no, this isn't work. This is us being ourselves. Thank you so much for everyone who donated, all of the fish puns and all of the bee puns and everything, and just thank you so much for being here to just support a really great cause. And I'm just gonna pass it over now to Jen to do her bit.
Hello, hi. I have been Jen, playing as Jen, the disaster nerd. Big thank you to everyone for tuning in. I am not very interesting, so I'll pass it over to Ryu.
Wow. Lies in the seat, first off. Second off, hey, what's up, everybody? My name is Ryu. I do stuff on the internet, and I do stuff on GRTW, behind the scenes and shenanigans afoot. As always, a game with under Arnica's wonderful, scary, terrifying guidance is everything that I could have asked for. Yeah, thanks for having us. We appreciate it. And again, thank you for those donos. We appreciate you. We do not appreciate the puns.
I appreciate the puns.
I appreciated you paying for the puns.
Yeah.
That last one right there.
We appreciate your paid puns.
We definitely appreciate the paid puns. But yeah, always see y'all on the flip side, and don't forget to check out obviously Hoard of Tales, wonderful shenanigans, and then GRTW, wonderful. Okay, bye.
Bye.